tries to mug you? What? What if your government tries to throw you in a can? What? You're gonna want a shotgun. Oh. What? One automatic rifle and a lot of ammo. Good.
We're all set to riot. Buy a gun before you lose your Second Amendment. Buy a gun. They'll burn you out like a Waco. They'll stick your ass in a camp. Jack-footed cops in riot gear, gonna kick your ass and laugh. The revolution is on its way. Better lock and load your AK. Buy a gun, 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 buy a gun before you wish you bought a gun. Buy a gun, buy a gun, buy a gun, buy a gun, buy a gun before you wish you bought a gun. We're all set to riot. Buy a gun before you lose your Second Amendment. Buy a gun. They gave your money to the banksters. They stole your pension funds. It's time that we took to the streets. It's time we had our turn. A revolution is on its way, and the founding fathers would say, buy a gun, 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 buy a gun before you wish you bought a gun. Buy a gun, 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 buy a gun before you wish you bought a gun. You gotta riot in the streets. Revolution's not clean and neat. You gotta riot in the streets. Revolution's not clean and neat. You gotta drag them through the streets.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is PrimerTime on UCY.tv. My name is Michael, and I'm here alone tonight. Nick kind of bailed on me at the last moment. I couldn't get anybody else to come on. This is going to be kind of a handicap show. This will be 60% of beauty and 40% of, well, me. And so if you hold anything holy, I suggest you pray and call on it for aid at this hour and help us make it through the next 57 and a half minutes. That would be really, really cool. And welcome. So it's kind of a momentous day. Trump has fired James Comey within the last couple hours. So that's kind of like breaking news. And people are calling this sort of a Nixonian event and referring to when Richard Nixon fired the Attorney General who was in the process of investigating Watergate. And lots of screaming and yelling, and Trump is actually also supposed to meet some Russian foreign minister come Monday, so maybe we're not too far from what this song says about, riot in the street and all that kind of stuff, because, I don't know, I see a lot of the whole Russian propaganda, and everybody's still talking about sanctions and whether or not we're going to, stick it to the Russians, those bastard commies, whatever. They're trying to interfere with our election. If it wasn't for the Russians, everybody would have voted for Hillary because she's such a wonderful person and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Anyhow, damn, this is where I would wait for Nick to say something, but yeah, so anyhow, there's all kinds of stuff going on with that, and I don't know. I don't know if I got phone lines open tonight or not. Let me check with Boss Lady and see if I have phone lines open. Let me see. I don't know. Let me send a message. Do I have phone lines open? And may I take crank callers? Any callers, please? Okay. So, a couple things going on in the world right now related to firearms. Let me see. I had a couple of firearm stories pulled up for me and Nick kind of to go over today, and First one was Florida had gun safety bills that they had made a whole lot of noise about during the election and the campaign and everything during the Trump versus Hillary last presidential session. And the gun safety bills have been withdrawn from the Florida legislative session at the end of it, and it was all in response to the Pulse nightclub. And it's I think people don't buy into the BS, and I think people really notice like the difference that's in the attention that's paid to something like the Pulse nightclub, which just had endless attention, and the coverage was nonstop, 24/7, and all that. Hang on here, I just got a message from the boss lady. No phone lines. You people are screwed. You're gonna have to listen to me the whole night for the next 52 minutes. So, anyhow, there was all kinds of like screaming and yelling about the Pulse nightclub, and since then there's been several kind of I would almost call them equivalent shootings in bars in the Northeast, especially like in the Rust Belt area. Excuse me. Ohio, like cities like Cincinnati, Cleveland, some in the Detroit, and then of course Chicago as usual, and we'll get to Chicago in just a moment. But these have been shootings in bars where up to 23, 24 people have been shot in these things with 3 or 4 dead, and that it barely gets a mention above that city's major newspaper. It's never on CBS breaking news break at the hour. It's not CNN's breaking news. So it's really, I don't think it's the opportunity to use these events for firearms control and legislation. I don't think they're necessarily genuine. I think if there was going to be any kind of like screaming for firearms control with any kind of like logical eye to anything, we'd look at Chicago, and Chicago just had a milestone right now, 200 dead in Chicago this year. That's puts them way ahead of schedule. And at the same time, Chicago police have issued a bulletin, and let me bring this up here. But as usual, the bulletin is blaming. Let's see, where is it here? Let's see what it says here. It's a bulletin on. It's high-powered. It's on gangs and high-powered weapons. Chicago police issued a bulletin warning its officers about gangs armed with high-powered weapons after 3 people were shot to death over the weekend, and including 2 attending a memorial for the earlier victim. Department spokesman Anthony Italian, last name, says the 3 people killed in the shooting on Saturday were all members of the same street gang. Well, there you have it. There you have it. So you've got, according to the website www.heyjackass.com, which is actually a real website. So if you want to look that up, it's www.heyjackass.com, and it'll give you like pretty interesting statistics about the breakdown of what's loosely termed the gun violence, which is actually like a gang crime problem in Chicago. And you'll see that out of the entire Chicago metro area, what's referred to as the Chicagoland area, like 85 to 90%, depending on the month, 85 to 90% of the violence there happens within like 7 distinct neighborhoods. And they're thinking that is as many as 1,920 different participants over and over and over again that are creating this issue. So that's the people that they're protecting when they're trying to like take away the homeowners and the average American's right to a firearm. They're letting those people prosper, and I don't know. I find it just to be completely disingenuous. Well, let's see. There was something that the other cop said something here. What was it? Oh, here it is. We believe it was related to the memorial. A number of the people knew the victim, and the rival gang observed that and took advantage. He also said the man who was killed earlier in the day and the men and the woman who were killed later in the day were all among approximately 1,400 people who, because of such factors as criminal records, gang ties, were on a list of those in the city most likely to commit gun violence or be targeted by it. So they've already got a list of who's like creating the problem in the city. So whatever they come up with, it's another like anti-gun proposal here. Just remember, it's Rahm Emanuel is, the Mossad mayor of Chicago. So, wow, there's a lot of time left. See what I'm going to discuss here. Uh, hmm. Guys, I'm really sorry. This is kind of like screwed off. Nick had kind of a last minute issue, and I got stuck. So whatever, live radio. This is whatever you can tell people. Boy, this episode really, really sucked. So in kind of like in the online and media world, Bearing Arms has been a website that's been fairly well known. It's been out for about maybe 10, 12 years, and recently in the last couple of weeks, it's actually shut down. Within the last 2 months, it's kind of closed up shop, and the owner, what's his name here? Bob Owens, who was the owner of that website and a frequent contributor to it, committed suicide. And I don't know. I have a horrible feeling that they're going to take somebody's kind of like time of pain and tragedy and use that in some sort of bad way against the firearms community. I really believe that the anti-gun forces really use the mantra of do not let any crisis go to waste. Stick to it, use everything you possibly can. And just because Trump is president, I don't think that means there's going to be any kind of relaxation of any sort of attack on firearms or firearms rights. Rather, I think it's going to mean a change in the tactics used to attack firearms rights. And specifically, I think that the fight is going to move to the state level. And they're really going to enforce and push like in Western states, Arizona, Nevada, push more in California. California's almost a given. Push more in Oregon. Push more in Washington. probably try to push more in Idaho, but I don't think they'll get anywhere there. Push more in New Mexico, push more in Colorado, probably try and push more in Utah as well. In Texas, I think it's almost a losing battle, except for like city ordinances in places like Austin or within the city limits of maybe San Antonio or Houston. Um, I don't want to like rest on the laurels, and I don't know. I almost kind of see like a perfect storm coming up. There's a great big drop in prices right now. I mean, well, hell, today or earlier today, I can't remember which website it was, but I saw that somebody had a U pop it together AR-15, a full kit. So everything you needed, including the lower, and it wasn't an 80%. It was a ready to go lower. So you needed to like fill out through an FFL to get it, but it was $359, and that's, I mean, I was in the last couple of years, I saw people spend more than that on buying 10 magazines. And now you've got prices that are seriously low, lower than they've been in a long time. And then the result of that, I mean, that's coming from a huge glut of product on the market. And I mean, there's a lot of AR-15s out there, brand new in the box, that are, they've been sitting there for a while, and the people who still hold AR-15s may be in or I shouldn't say still hold, because that implies that everybody's kind of getting rid of them. But I would say it's more than fair to say that a lot of people panic bought with the intention of making a couple of bucks profit if Hillary was elected, and immediately went after firearms, as she said she was going to do, as she promised she was going to do. And all those people, kind of bought at a sort of a price spike. So, they're thinking that their rifle is still worth, somewhere within $20-$30 of the $900 to $1,000 price that they paid for them, a year and a half ago. And then, God knows however many rounds they put through it. And that's their own perception, and it's their own right to ask that much. And it's your right to say, no, I won't pay that much. And, conversely, at that time, when they bought their rifles, there was no such thing as the $350 kit. And, I mean, $350 wouldn't even buy you like a lower at that time. And I mean, that's a strip lower, just holds. I mean, they were selling the 80% lowers for almost $200. So, well, this has all kind of led to a great big glut of parts on the market, because everybody's picked them up. Prices have dropped because there's not the great big demand, because Hillary and Obama and everybody's come to take the firearm. So we've seen a couple of firearms retailers go out of business. Recently, Gander Mountain has just gone out of business, and they're actually closing a whole bunch of stores. They are, I believe it's Chapter 12 bankruptcy, which allows some of them to stay open, but they're reorganizing. They're shutting down like 44 or 54 of them nationwide. And supposedly they've had a great big reduction of price sale, which is, well, price was their number one problem. Everything in Gander Mountain was more expensive than any other retailer, in my experience, and I'm sure in a lot of other people's experience as well. From everything from what I've read about the Gander Mountain sale is, even though they promised to have firearms for sale, the firearms and the ammunition and firearms accessories in that markdown, they are not marked down. Those are the exact same price. So I have a feeling that those are going to end up, whatever's not sold is going to end up going to some sort of wholesaler. They're not going to move their price on that. That's one of one of them few items that they can't really like write off as a loss. They're not. I don't think they're as big as Walmart. They can't take that kind of a hit. Looking at a couple other companies have gone defunct. Olympic Firearms, which is a prolific manufacturer of AR-15s and has been making AR-15s probably sometime since the early 80s, and probably made the first functional alternative 9mm to the Colt pattern AR-15 that was out there and actually worked. And they made a lot of rifles. They've gone out of business. They've been out of business now for a couple months. I don't know if this is true, and I'm not trying to like cause some sort of libel incident or anything, but I mean, I've heard from some people who I know that are fairly closely involved in the firearms industry at a licensable level that Palmetto State looks to be one of the companies that's next up to go on the block. So we may be heading back into a perfect storm sort of situation with. I'd say that there's definitely the drive from the left, and I shouldn't even classify them as the left because there's people on the left that know the value of firearms, but the people who really wish to disarm Americans, and that falls into a couple of different camps, and the Z word, the J word, whatever. Can't really go into that, but those people don't give up, and I have a feeling that they feel like Trump is weak, and it's been a constant assault on him, and so insult him personally and insult his whoever his constituency is, and at some point I think they're really going to go back for the firearms, and I still think that it's going to be at the state level for the most part, but shit, man, we're one gay nightclub, one kid on Prozac shooting up a middle school that's all kind of funky. Because I mean, like for reals, like you want to like look back at Sandy Hook. I mean, no disrespect to the dead. I mean, I'm not one of those people who said there was no dead kids at Sandy Hook. For fuck's sake, man, this is the United States government. We kill people all over the fucking world. I am absolutely sure there's every one of them kids at Sandy Hook is dead. I don't, but I don't think that 19-year-old autistic Adam Lanza did. No, I don't think he did it. I mean, I got no doubt that there's dead kids all over the fucking place there, but I don't think Autistic Boy did it. I don't know, it's just one of them things. It's like if you can't, the mantra is never let the crisis go to waste. And if the crisis doesn't happen, well, what the hell? Go ahead and create a crisis. That'll happen. Make it happen. I don't know. I listen to CNN in the morning. I do it so you people don't have to. And actually, I listen to it just because I listen to all the lefty news. I don't need to hear what Fox says. And I'm not necessarily a right person. I guess you could probably even call me a socialist at some sort of level, but I have more conservative values. I think like more, I guess, compassionate conservative values that I kind of hold, and with those, I kind of see the way everything's laying out right now. I see like the ultimate forces of greed working with the ultimate forces of corrosion, who are one and the same, but employ different useful idiots in their quest for, domination and subjugation and plantation of the nation. I don't know. Let me see what else I got here. Yeah, this kind of blows. I thought I kind of wish Nick was here. All right, so we got another bill in Congress. Here we go. Here's the downfall I was talking about. Got a bill introduced to mandate only smart handguns to be made within 5 years. And let's see, this is a New York Democrat has introduced a measure in the U.S. House which would require the sale of handguns with authorized user technology. Oh, for Christ's sakes. United States Representative Carolyn B. Maloney reintroduced the Handgun Trigger Safety Act, which pushes smart guns by ordering within 5 years that all newly manufactured handguns include technology enabling only authorized users to fire the pistol. Existing handguns would have to be retrofitted within 10 years. The lawmaker argues a mandate to only sell guns to enable with a lockout feature would save lives. Oh, for fuck's sake. All right, so God, this is going to give me a brain tumor. All right, Carolyn B. Maloney. She's a New York Congresswoman. Her husband died on the Long Island railroad shooting back. I don't remember what year it was. A man named Colin Ferguson, who was totally mentally disturbed, bought a gun on the black market, went in and had a beef and said he was there to shoot white people. Colin Ferguson shot, I don't know, 10 people. Killed a bunch of them. It was a 9mm Ruger P series pistol. I believe it was a P89 or a P85. And he killed a bunch. Well, she kind of rode the fame of her dead husband in that incident, and she became a politician. And people who don't know her may know her as the woman who was interviewed on the Tucker Carlson show, and she was complaining about her promoting the assault weapons bill, one of the Feinstein creations, which banned firearms for their physical appearance, not for any sort of functional of the firearm. Just things like, oh my God, it's got a folding stock, it's got a pistol grip, oh, it's got a heat shield, it's got a shoulder thing that goes up. And so she was the person who was questioned about the function of a heat shield and what it does, and she didn't know what it was and guessed that the heat shield that rides over the barrel was the shoulder thing that goes up. So you have somebody who's completely uninformed about a subject legislating what she thinks it should be, legislating purely from emotion and whatever sort of other evil intent firearms grabbers have. And you start looking at what firearms grabbers have in mind. It's never good, because every place that they've ever grabbed firearms and removed firearms from the people and had like a some sort of like kick in the door scheme to like pick everybody's gun up, there was a whole lot of bloodshed not long after. Very special person just dropped me this story. This comes out of Mother Jones magazine, which is not your average everyday firearms rights magazine, but they do have good reporting. It comes from a different mindset. So this is Trump wants to allow concealed weapons everywhere, and this is the bill that would do it. And all right, it would also undo a federal ban on guns in school. Dun 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 dun. So everybody who's got a concealed weapon license could now carry a gun to school, except for this changes not the status of people who don't have a concealed weapons license, who would carry a gun to school regardless of any sort of legislation. Dun, dun, dun. Shortly after Donald Trump won the election, Todd Ratner, a prominent guns rights lobbyist said gun owners were eager to go at the offensive at the federal level. Amongst their top priorities was a national reciprocity legislation, a law guaranteeing that people with concealed carry permits. Hang on, Nick just sent me a message. Okay, so I'm trying to get Nick in here because, for Christ's sakes, you people deserve much better radio than this. Let's see if he's going to message me back here. Come on. Okay, so anyways, let's go back to this story here. Where was my story at? So anyhow, this guy, Mr. Yather, is Brian Schatz, Schatz. The provisions are significant. Oh fuck! Nick says he can't make it on. What the hell you tell me you're home then if you why the hell? Jesus, all right. Thanks a lot for getting my hopes up, man. Christ almighty. Oh, all right, so let me go through the chat. No, Maddie, you deserve much better radio. Mr. Teeter, good evening. Nick had other things to do tonight. That's the problem with life. Desert Hawk posted some crap again. Hopper, good evening. Go take your woman to dinner. Baconator. He's going on about Blade Runner and Skin Jobs, which are right down the road. And if you listen to Jules in the morning, all right. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Anyhow, so listen. There's when you listen, if you've got viewpoints somewhat similar to mine, I guess that would mean that your convictions in this area are firm. There's not going to be any single event. There's not going to be some sort of, school shooting or a mall shooting or a hospital shooting or, a Terminator in the police station kind of shooting that's going to make you say, well, God damn it, we need to give up our firearm. That's just, you're at a point in your life where you realize that it's not the item in the object, it's people's behaviors, and these objects exist, and there's no way to undo that they exist, and there's no way to undo the fact that you can make one of these, and with $3 worth of cash and a half hour's worth of time at Home Depot. So, oh, hell, man. What would Harambe do at this period? Harambe would hug the child and turn around and get shot. Shot in his effort for hugging the child. Yeah. Harambe needed a shotgun. All right. So you've got people who kind of like wish to change like a thought process. They've been working at it for levels that are just insane. I mean, there was just recently a story about an 8-year-old boy who was suspended from school because he liked an Instagram post of a firearm. He didn't comment on it or anything. He just liked the post. That one kind of like irks me quite a bit. Kids' parents kind of like threw somewhat of a fit. I think they threw a fit because they got some media attention. I don't think they threw like a real fit. I think it was all kind of like media driven. but it kind of brings to mind that there's a lot of intrusion in people's lives and their online activities, and yeah, it's being correlated with with what your personal preferences and your likes are. There's profiles being built of you. So like this, little kid shows up who likes whatever kind of like Dragon Ball Z or SpongeBob cartoon or whatever kind of cartoon the kids are into, and and he likes guns at 8 years old. Ding, ding, ding. That sets off all kinds of alarms, and like alert that kid's local area school guidance counselor. They got a little potential psychopath on the way because the kid happened to like a picture of a 6-shooter, like John Wayne's gun. Um, yeah, I think we're in kind of a bad spot when we look at things in that light. Uh, in the like brand new firearms world, there's really not a whole lot, not a whole lot of innovation. There's nothing fairly new. Everything is sort of it's really like a copy of an AR-15, copy of a 1911. There's nothing. There's no kind of innovation out there. It's a copy of a Glock or a descendant of a Glock. Um, I don't know. Um, well, hell, we are not. We're not necessarily FCC controlled radio, and I've said worse things on air. So let's read this story from WTOL, Toledo, Ohio, radio news. This is I believe this is an ABC station, whoever the eyeball is. Uh, Man shoots himself in penis while getting out of car. A man was admitted to a hospital after shooting himself in a very sensitive area Sunday night. According to Toledo police, they got a call after Murad Hamadallah was heard screaming that he had been shot while getting out of his car. The caller told police he watched Hamadallah walk towards a garbage can on Manhattan before eventually falling to the ground. When crews arrived, they found Hamadallah with a single gunshot wound that went through his penis and right thigh. Police found a bullet hole in the driver's seat. The gun was found behind the garbage can on Manhattan. He was staying in the St. Vincent's in Toledo. He's expected to be okay. And folks, what have we learned from that? That's a perfect segue into the main reason why I do this show, other than to yell at the accursed Zionist and the merchant who has his stranglehold on our nation. It is to give the 4 rules of firearm safety. So, rule number 1 is every firearm is loaded until you visually and physically inspect and ensure that the firearm is unloaded. Rule number 2, keep the firearm pointed in a safe direction. Do not cover anything you do not wish to destroy, such as your penis or your leg. Rule number 3, know what's your target, know what's beyond your target at all times. And rule number 4, the most vital rule, which I'm not exactly sure how Mr. Hamadallah violated this rule, but keep the booger hook off the bang switch until you're ready to discharge the weapon. And you will not be looking at some sort of probably pretty expensive vascular surgery and follow-up visits with like a urologist for a good long time by shooting yourself in the genitalia. I mean, I just hesitate to think of just like the pulverizing damage that does. He's expected to be okay. The fuck he is gonna be okay. He shot himself in the wang and the leg. I mean, he's gonna have a limp, and it's not gonna be the good kind of limp. I don't know. That's pretty. That's pretty bad. Not professional firearms usage. You're not an operator if you do go around popping yourself in the nards and whatnot. Uh, let's see what else I got going on here. Well, I'm telling you, Nick really threw a monkey wrench at me and bombed it off my forehead. I was totally not expecting to do this, and I'm very sorry. And I'm whatever, live radio, and enjoy it. Let me see what I got here. Ooh, the United States Army has named the first unit to receive the M17 modular handgun system, which is also known as the SIG 320 9mm. United States Army has released the name of the unit which will receive the new M17 modular handgun system pistol, and that is none other than the legendary Tip of the Spear, the 101st Airborne, stationed out of Fort Campbell in Kentucky. This comes out of soldiersystems.net. Earlier today at the NDIA Armaments Conference, PEO Soldiers PM for Soldier Weapons, Lieutenant Stephen Power said that the first unit equipped for the M17 modular handgun will be the 101st out of Fort Campbell, Kentucky during the first quarter of fiscal year 2018. He also said that other units on Fort Campbell will receive the first of 190,000 pistols the Army plans to buy. That's a whole lot, so they are pushing them out, and I don't think FN's lawsuit is going to go anywhere. Let's see. There's a little bit more here. Power says there have been a lot of misconceptions about what the requirements community meant as when they described the new pistol as modular. They largely focused on the shooter's hand, the size, and enables the weapon to being compatible with. Power said describing how the modular handgun system offers different grip sizes that can accept various attachments such as lights and optics. So basically, they want a backstrap ability to put bullshit on the gun. Base configuration with the full-size XM17 will come with tritium sights and 3 magazines, one 17-round and two 21-round magazine. Army officials are developing a holster for the MHS as well. So, yeah, this is a great big old money expenditure that the military was into. And I guess this is the end of the line for the Beretta 92. I was under the impression that there was quite a few Berettas still in line to be picked up per the existing contract. I was still under the impression 150,000 Beretta 92s had yet to be delivered. So I'm kind of shocked to see this moving forward so fast after the end of after the selection point at that. I don't know. That's a hell of an expense, man. All right, so if they need new holsters, they need new magazines, they need the whole new training system. That's all brand new web gear, man. I don't know, for a weapon that stays in the holster 99% of the time, and there's no change in the caliber, it's just a change in the handgun. I don't know, man. That's a big waste of money in my mind. But whatever. Buying guns, financing guns, and that's the name of the game, right? You just gotta finance it. So I don't know. I think the Army is paying $207 a piece. So, but that's that's kind of misleading on the contract, because they may pay $207 a piece, but the military is going to pay $38, $40 a magazine. and they'll end up buying 7-8 magazines per firearm, probably 10, and I don't know if it's got tritium sights. Those things aren't cheap, and military, even at military purchasing, I don't see them things being less than $150 a piece. I don't know. Let's see what else we got going on here. Let's see. There's a whole bunch of crap on all like the firearms websites. This is where Nick and I would banter for a few moments and talk about life and the various, just the various Vegases that just make you kind of laugh and just smile at what the fuck, man. You are fired, Nick. Let's see what else I got here. Firearm story wise. Here's an interesting firearms defensive use story. This is coming out of NBC DFW. Domino's delivery pizza driver shoots and kills a teenage would-be robber. A North Texas pizza delivery driver shot and killed a teenage would-be robber who opened fire on him as he attempted to deliver Saturday night. A second teen is in custody following the attempted aggravated robbery. Oh, man. Mesquite police said a Domino's delivery driver was delivering to a home in the 1400 block of Springwood. Okay, I used to live outside of Mesquite. Mesquite's like in the northeast Dallas area, and it's urban and culturally enriched. And yeah, I got no doubt that this dude was scammed. That was probably a scam address to get the pizza delivered to, and they were waiting to sit up and rob that guy and brag to their buddies. Oh, man. Police say one of the teens was armed and fired at the delivery driver. The driver was also armed and fired back, killing the teen. Responding officers found the wounded teen identified at the examiner's office as Wayne Delaney Osborne of Mesquite nearby. He was pronounced dead. Second suspect was also arrested and charged with aggravated robbery. Attorney information wasn't clear. According to the police, the home was vacant and a for-lease sign was removed from in front of the house. Police believe the teens used the empty residence to lure the driver to the home with plans to rob him. Let's see. According to Mesquite police, the delivery driver did not have a license to carry the weapon in Texas. However, he did one have out of Arizona. Through the reciprocal agreement, Texas honors Arizona concealed handgun license. The pizza delivery driver's case will be forwarded to the grand jury for consideration, which is standard protocol. And Domino's Pizza, noting the driver worked for an independent franchisee, released a statement Monday about the driver on the driver is cooperating fully with local law enforcement. The franchisee told me this afternoon that he will be offering the driver paid time off to give him a chance to deal with what was certainly a high-stress situation. Tragically, nobody should have ever have that tragically should never have happened. Nobody should ever confront a life-and-death situation while trying to earn a paycheck delivering a pizza. This is actually kind of shocking. The owner of the Domino's on Galloway said it was a tragic situation for everyone involved, adding that the driver had been working for about 9 months. Drivers typically carry less than $20 in change. Dun, dun, dun. So they were going to like rob and shoot this dude for $20 and whatever kind of crappy pizza that Domino's makes. So that's what, like $40 worth of, life they're going to squeeze out of that old boy. Given the area, I used to live kind of in that area. That's not necessarily a happy part of the Dallas Metroplex. it's actually not too far from the area where there was an officer involved shooting the other night in the Dallas area, Balch Springs, where a cop fired into a car full of black kids and ended up shooting one. A cop ended up lying and said that the car was trying to get him and the car was actually moving away and blah blah blah, whatever, racism. But yeah, that's not too far. That's like 10 minute drive. It's the same area actually as where this little pizza scam thing went on at. So this isn't good. This isn't good. Crime is up everywhere. There's more and more scams to try and take the firearms from everybody, and people are becoming complacent, and we're looking at companies going out of business, and nobody's picking up on the deals that are out there. So I don't know. I think go over it. Got $300 and you've got nothing. $300 can get you a decent 9mm pistol used in most handgun friendly states, and can definitely get you a good pump shotgun. That's probably one of the better things to have. I'm a firm believer in 12 gauge medicine. 20 gauge medicine works just as well. I don't know. I see like crime stories like that kind of increasing. Oh wow, this one's kind of an interesting story here. This comes out of the Chicago Tribune. Inglewood mom who said she bought guns stolen from a train to protect her family was sentenced to prison. Oh wow. Federal judge has called gun trafficking the biggest gun safety issue in Chicago as he sentenced a 53-year-old post office worker to 24 days in prison. And wow, damn. Why did you go away on me website? On Chicago Tribune. 24 days in prison and 3 years probation for buying 3 guns stolen from a Norfolk Southern train yard. Lori Shilton was told Thursday that she bought them because she needed them for self-defense in her high-crime Inglewood neighborhood. The mother, too, insisted she was only protecting her family. Judge John Tharp said buying stolen guns only encourages the violence tearing her neighborhood apart. He cited her otherwise clean record for the lenient sentence. He said she'd serve her prison terms on weekends so she wouldn't lose her day job. But for her own good, she needed to know the bitter taste of prison. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. That judge, man, I'm telling you, he just made Chicago 10 times safer. That woman was trying to, buy a gun to defend herself. Little did she know that defending herself contributes to the ongoing murder, slaughter, death, kill fest in Chicago. All 200 murders in Chicago this year, that woman's fault. I blame her, the alt-right, Trump, Putin, North Korea, the Iranians. Probably have to blame some kind of football team and maybe a rap star too. Yeah, kind of depressing on that, man. All right, and one more shitty piss me off story before we say goodnight to everybody and ask for shekels. Ohio burglary victim says that the cops won't return to seized guns. Cleveland security guard claims in court that the city has refused to return his guns that were used in evidence after a shot and killed a home invader, even though the case against the intruder's accomplice is over. Brian Bridges sued the city of Cleveland, Mayor Frank Jackson, and Police Chief Calvin Williams on Thursday in the Cuyahoga County Court of Common Pleas, alleging the violation of Second and Fourth Amendment rights. March 2015, Bridges came home to find 2 men robbing his house. During the ensuing confrontation, Bridges fatally shot one of the invaders. The shooting was in self-defense and was justifiable. The other, one of the suspects, Anthony Akins Daniels, but he was escaped, but he was eventually found and arrested. That's the guy who did not get shot. He pled guilty to involuntary manslaughter for causing the death of his best friend, the guy who got shot. Bridges claims Cleveland police unlawfully seized his property, including a Glock 21 semi-automatic handgun, ammunition holster, a red cherry piccolo and a red cherry piccolo. Like, I don't know what the hell a red cherry piccolo is. Like, I wonder if that's like a musical instrument, like a red cherry piccolo. Anyway, this dude is suing for $20,000 in compensatory and $50,000 in punitives. He also wants an injunction to stop the city from enforcing any policy and/or actions that infringe upon a lawful gun owner's right to keep and bear arms. All right, so you go, Mr. Bridges. I hope you win your lawsuit and stick it to the man in Cleveland. That's just, I mean, like Cleveland was one of those cities that has like the after hours clubs getting all kinds of shot up and gangsterism and whatever kind of wannabe MTV rap bullshit going on in them things. And they won't address that, but there's a guy who's got a lawful, legal, defending his home life, liberty, property, his pursuit of happiness, which is, you know, shit, who cares if your happiness is your pursuit of happiness is you want a bigger flat screen TV and a DVD player. That's your right as a goddamn American to have that. And, to try and buy a better one. It's not your right to come in and steal it. It's your right to protect that and protect. I mean, if somebody's going to come in and take your DVD player, what else are you going to take? Your daughter? Take your kid, take your wife, take you, take your booty. So, yeah, go ahead and shoot them sons of bitches and they come in your house. I don't care what state you're in. Anyhow, this has been PrimerTime on UCY.TV. UCY.TV, your home for radio you get nowhere else. We have everything here from Rainbow Lasagna to this horrible example of radio to shows of real activism like Lonnie Clark and The Age of Fish and Radio and Anti-Media, which comes up next. You have Jules, the main lady behind this station, who's got a daily show that really just kind of like kicks ass. I mean, it's like science gone mad, and honestly, if like the first time you listen to it, if you're like one of the uninitiated, it'll kind of like blow your mind. But look around, her stuff is excellently sourced, and yeah, it's damn sure real. So help support her research. If you got a couple of bucks, throw them UCY's way. She got a PayPal and all that kind of stuff, and you can buy stuff through Amazon and designate UCY as the beneficiary and all that. And I don't know. I'm not good at asking for money, people. So, like, throw some shekels her way and, like, keep this stuff going. More people we get talking about this kind of stuff, the better kind of chance we have at the future. Maybe get people talking about whatever your favorite issue is, whatever kind of, like, turns your crank, and they'll quit talking about sports ball and pop star and rap star and Instagram star and movie of the month and badass car that's unavailable, and I don't know, maybe they'll buy some dehydrated food and a water filter and some energy pills, Patriot supplies. I don't know. Anyhow, thank you for listening. You deserve far better radio than what you got tonight, and I am truly sorry, and I will try to prevent this from ever happening again. I will say a couple of Hail Marys, an Our Father. Thank God I hear the happy music coming in. I do what the song says, people. This has been a painful hour of radio. You are all troopers for standing by. I hope nobody took off and, right
Truth on the Tracks. You can catch